Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another episode of Stay Rad Wine Blog TV. It's been a little while. I've been out of town. Kara and I, ever since just after Christmas, have been on the road. We went to Las Vegas for a wedding, and then we were over in Reno visiting my folks and spent New Year's over there. And I've been in the process of making the rad list for 2012, just kind of my end of the year compilation of some of my favorite posts and my favorite wines of the last year. But here we are on the third day of 2012, and I haven't given you any new content. So I'm taking a break from the rad list, and I'm getting into this wine right here that I picked up at a pretty cool wine shop while I was in Reno. The wine shop is called Vintage. A Wine Bar is the full name, and I think I've written some stuff about them before, so I'll try to find that and link that below. But we were there yesterday, a pretty quiet day, just hanging out, and this bottle of wine right here caught my eye. The producer is, and I'm going to butcher his name, Thierry Pouzelet. Is his name. I'll, look at his name, and maybe some of my French speakers like Johnny Brandy maybe can tell me if I am saying that right. But Thierry Pouzelet, he's a what would be considered a natural wine producer. He only sources from organic and biodynamic this guy's in the way. Organic and biodynamic vineyards, and he tries to be very minimalistic in his approach to making wine. So this wine in particular, there's no added sulfites. I mean, all wine has sulfites, but there's none added during this winemaking process. So just a little bit different, a little bit neat. And this wine in particular, this is the 2008? Yeah, 2008 KO in Cot We Trust. Cot is another name for Malbec. That's what they call Malbec in the Loire Valley of France. And specifically in the Loire Valley, this is the terrain, is the specific region. So when we're looking at this Malbec, as we're looking at this Cot, it is going to be bringing something different than what you would normally find in the Argentinian version of the original Bordeaux grape. So let's just dive into this and see what it's all about. Unfiltered as well, just in case you wanted to know. Color-wise, off the bat, this guy's pretty dark right here. I mean, it's a really inky, dark, purple type of color. Like if you take a blueberry and just kind of remove the skin and just like squish that stuff down, you know how purple those blueberries can get? That's kind of what this wine is looking like to me right now. And on the nose, whew, it's kind of funky. There is this just big time mushroomy forest floor kind of note that I'm kind of waiting to burn off. Like there is some fruit starting to come up in there, but maybe this wine would have done well with some decanting, but sometimes I just like seeing how it changes in the glass while I'm drinking it. So once we get past that earthy, mushroomy, doo-doo-y, manure-y kind of smell, there is like some blackberry, there is some raspberry underneath there. So I mean, whereas the Argentinian version, you're talking about, very explosive fruit, this is more earth-driven than anything else. Some herbs there. I mean, we're talking about we're talking about like a little oregano in there. But really, it's tough to get past that earthy, barnyardy type of component. Not necessarily a bad thing if you know what you're getting into, but it's pretty intense. And on the palate is where you don't worry so much about the doo-doo that you are smelling because, I mean, again, a very earth-driven wine, but it's very explosive in the mouth here. There is a lot of fruit that's coming through. So there's this blackberry, raspberry, cranberry. There's this really nice, long acid. There is that earthy, mushroomy component. There is like this dark, wet soil type of thing happening. It almost, and I mean the wine itself, like I'm not seeing any sort of frizzante action in there. I'm not seeing any bubbles, but it almost feels like it's kind of tickling and kind of playing with my tongue and with the roof of my mouth right now. Kind of neat. There's these green pepper vegetal type of components. And really just a solid, I mean, if you're hardcore into, I'm thinking like, like a wine like a Chinon, right? Where it's just really big time earth and soil driven. I definitely think this is a wine that you'd be into. It's definitely a different, nerdy type of wine. It's also a wine to kind of have some fun with some people if they say that, if they're the type of folks that say like, oh, I only drink Malbec, get them this Malbec because it won't be anything like what they expect. If you know what you're getting into, if you know about those Loire Valley red wines, if you know about, gosh, just old world sensibilities with wine, and if you want to play a little bit with the whole like natural wine type of thing, I think this is kind of a fun wine to get into. This was $22, $23, and you are going to be able to find it at more kind of specialty wine shops. It's a Louis Dresner is the why am I blanking right now? Louis Dresner is the guy that's the importer that's bringing this wine in, and he's got a lot of wines in a lot of different places. So, it's definitely one that I think you'd be able to get a hold of. And it's one that I think, if you're just really into wine, you'd probably enjoy it. I'm gonna give this like an 89 right here. It is really interesting. It is one that I'm going to enjoy getting into more and more. I would say that, as much as it does have these little different layers of like earth and of fruit and of herbs and acid, I'd love to see it just get a little bit more complex. I mean, this is starting level right here, and I want to see where this wine could go. So I mean, again, an 89 and a solid effort, and I'm looking forward to maybe finding some more from this guy, Thierry Pouzelet. I'm sure I'm way off on that. But anyways, I don't know. Let me know. Have you ever had this before? Have you ever had a Cot before? Yeah. Let me know how your New Year's was. I'm glad to be kind of back in the saddle, and I will have that rad list out for you guys real soon. But till next time, everybody, stay rad.